now. I like to sell it right now. Ain't got no feeling right now. Ain't got no feeling right. That's just how I'm feeling right now. I like to sell it right now. Ain't got no feeling right now. That's just how I'm feeling right now. I like to sell it right now. Got no feeling right now. Got no feeling right now. Enemies, I swear it ain't no killing me now. They won't get rid of me now. It ain't no putting me down.
Getting back to it. This is the Anion Sports March Madness bracket reveal. Oh man, it's go time. It's crazy for all of y'all that stayed in to watch the round of 64 and the round of 32. Here we are. We're moving on to the Sweet 16. I am Don Collins, special guest Grant Anderson. Thank you. But here we go. All right, guys. I'm going to mix it up. We're going to go down from the south. We got Virginia versus Oregon. I'm telling you, it's a Virginia revenge tour. I'm picking Virginia to win against Oregon. You know, obviously Oregon had a sweeter time getting there. No pun intended. But I'm picking Virginia to win this game. So then we're moving on. We got Purdue, Tennessee. It's March. Do I continue the madness? Do I just rock with the Vols? Rocking with the Vols. All right. We're going to come on down. I'm going to go to Kentucky versus Iowa State. All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pick Kentucky to win this game. You know what? Let me stop playing with y'all. Let me look at this. I'm picking Iowa State. I'm picking Iowa State to win this game. Look. Iowa State, they took down Kansas in the Big 12 tournament. They did their thing. They were very impressive when they did it. Kentucky, they got some boys there, but as Grant, explained, I don't know if I'm really rocking with their overall flow of everything this year. So I'm picking Iowa State. Buffalo, Nevada. Man, look, Buffalo is supposed to be here. I'm picking Buffalo. Gonzaga, Marquette. It's tough. Marcus Howard put up points. Oh, upset alert! Upset alert! Marquette with the upset. We got a 5 seed. Michigan State, LSU. Richard, I'm telling you. Bro, don't let me down. Michigan State. Duke, Mississippi State. Sorry, Richard. I know I just said that in the last sentence. Ha! You guys are going to face Duke. You're going to face Duke. So that brings me, I purposely did this. UNC versus Kansas. For those of y'all that don't know, for the last 11 years, I've picked the Kansas Jayhawks to win every single March Madness bracket I've ever done. I started as an 8th grader. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I picked all 4 number 1 seeds to go. And I picked Kansas to win it all. And they did on Mario Chalmers' miracle shot and winning it in overtime over Derrick Rose, my favorite basketball player of all. So Kansas, UNC. This brings me to a crossroads. UNC has been balling all year. Kansas has been slightly less balling. I always pick the Jayhawks. But not this year. I'm picking UNC to advance to the Elite 8 over my Kansas Jayhawks. It's the end of an era, but they just don't have it this year. They don't have it. Quentin Grimes, you've been hooping, but without that down low interior presence of Azubuike mixed with Lawson, I just don't know how they get past UNC. I would love to be wrong and not to go into a soliloquy. I would love for them to advance all the way to the championship round. But I got to think with my head, not my heart. Rock chalk.
Moving in to our next round, UNC and Kansas. Battle of the Blue Bloods. Kansas been battered. They're missing their big guy as a bouquet. And I think Luke May and the crowd at UNC is going to run up the score and blow this game open. They just have too much experience. They have a better team at the time. I know Roy Williams has the Kansas Connects as well, and I think he has their number at this time. UNC over Kansas. Here's our interesting game. Wofford, after pulling off the crazy upset over Kentucky, is going to meet a 30-win Houston squad, and that's where the magic ends for them. Too much guard play. An issue that I think Kentucky doesn't quite have is just the senior-led guard team. Houston kind of making the run that Michigan was making last year. They're avenging that loss. They're beating Wofford handily in this round. The South region. University of Virginia taking on Kansas State. Kansas State likely battling a little bit of injury here. Wondering if Dean Wade is going to be fully healthy by this time. He's a big factor for them as a big guy that can make shots as well as stay inside. Barry Brown, one of their point guards, looking to stay in there. Willie Snead, a good shooter. I think Virginia does have enough to win this game. It's going to be a close defensive-based game. Virginia moving on to the next round. Let's hope they don't fail us on that one. Purdue and Tennessee. This one, another good defensive breakdown. Seen a lot of teams here are good defensive teams as well as offensive. Like I said earlier, you need guys that can take last shots for you. Carson Edwards on Purdue. He's a finisher. He's a lot of big shot taker. Issue is that he's not always a big shot maker. I think he's going to have one of those 6 for 25 games, and Tennessee's going to give it a hard time for him down the stretch. I don't see anyone that can guard Grant Williams on that team, and Tennessee is going to move on to face Virginia. Rematch last year, looking at Sweet 16, Gonzaga, Florida State. Florida State knocked off Gonzaga. They have a similar team this year. They have a lot of bodies. They're really active, but the issue with them is they just don't have a score. When it comes down to the stretch, they're by a committee team, and I just don't know if they have a guy that's going to say 2 minutes, scores tied at 58, who's going to get them a basket. Gonzaga does. They have Josh Perkins. They have Rui Hachimura. They have Zach Norvell from Chicago, big shot maker. Zag's moving on to the Elite Eight to face the winner of another interesting game that America maybe not be ready for. Buffalo, Nevada. Nevada, they've been there last year. Buffalo, shocking win over Texas Tech, 3 seed. I think, again, Nevada with the Martin brothers, as well as their big guy, Jordan Caroline. He's an NBA-level player, offensively, defensively. Those 3 guys are going to dominate Buffalo down low, as well as in that mid-range post game, and they're going to take on the Zags in the Elite Eight. Again, Grant Anderson here, moving in the Elite Eight, Final Four, March Madness. Hopefully this bracket is still intact in this time. Sticking with it. Let's see what happens here. Virginia Tech's going to meet Michigan State here in the East bracket. Virginia Tech coming off a big win against Duke. I think they're going to be tired. They're going to be battered, but they do have the power in numbers. Issue with Michigan State I have is that they don't have a down at wing scorer. Matt McQuaid, good player, good shooter. I don't think he can compete with Nikhil Walker-Alexander on Virginia Tech, who they're looking at as a lottery pick here. Physically, it's going to be a tight game. There's going to be a lot of fouls. I think Virginia Tech's going to get a couple shots towards the end. Jerome Robinson, the free throw line, sealing it for the Hokies, who make their first Final Four with Coach Buzz Williams. Moving down to the West, 2 West Coast teams. Who would have thought? Gonzaga and Nevada, both teams that went deep last year and had early exits, really in tougher fashions. Nevada losing to last year's Cinderella, Loyola. I think Gonzaga is going to take it down. They have a lot more size inside, and the unfortunate thing for Nevada is that they do have big guys, but they're not quite as skilled as Gonzaga's. I think Hachimura and Perkins are going to close it for the Zags, who punched their ticket back to another Final Four since they lost the title game with UNC. University of Virginia and Tennessee. Unfortunately for Virginia, this is where it comes to an end. Tennessee going to take them down with just their experience. They're going to be riding a nice wave here, picking up a couple wins after a disappointing loss. Remember, they did take down Kentucky in their conference tournament. Too much Tennessee, dropping Virginia out of the tournament. Another early exit for a number 1 seed. Looking at UNC taking on Houston. So this is your 2-3 matchup, or your 1-3 matchup. UNC, they've been here before. They've won it recently. Houston's going to be there. And I think it sets up the path nicely for them in the next couple of years. Huge run out of Houston, but I think just too much UNC down the line.
All right, back to it. Oh, man, I shed a couple tears off camera. You'll never see it. You'll never see it. But we move on to the Elite Eight. So I got Virginia, Tennessee. Does the revenge tour continue for Virginia, or does Tennessee pull off the not too shabby upset? I'm rocking with Virginia. I'm telling you, I really been feeling it this year. You know, like I said, that revenge tour coming strong. Hopefully, obviously. All right, now we got North Carolina, Iowa State. I picked UNC to but to defeat my favorite team ever in college sports. Yeah, you're damn right I'm picking them to go on. Buffalo Marquette did not intend for a 5-6, but hey, look, sometimes you got to pick the little guys. Going Buffalo here. A little action. We'll see how far they get. They're a special team, though. I think they got a Final Four run in them, elevate the stock of the MAC. Duke, Michigan State. This where we get to the nitty gritty. Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett versus them blue-collar Michigan State boys. All right. Look at here. Zion Williamson probably is going to go number 1. Don't necessarily agree with that. I like RJ Barrett a little bit better going forward long-term NBA-wise. Who cares about that? This is about winning a national championship potentially. And I'm going Michigan State. They pull off the upset. The freshmen don't get it done. Michigan State to the Final Four. Richard, I'm doing this for you. Don't disappoint me. Don't disappoint. So with that being said, my Final Four is now set. I got Virginia versus UNC, the battle of the ones. I got Michigan State versus Buffalo, all the way from the MAC, representing. You'll see how this concludes next.